you sick and tired of stick drift? Then this video might help you. It's MAIDeSITe. This is the GameSir G7 SE, which is an officially licensed Xbox controller that is compatible with Xbox Series X, S, Xbox One, Windows 10 and 11. Just like the previously highly praised model, the GameSir G7. One of the key features of the GameSir G7 SE is that it has Hall effect joysticks, so you won't experience any stick drift, which is one of the biggest complaints on other controllers that use potentiometer joysticks, and which over time your controller's analog sticks will wear down due to physical contact, causing your character to move by itself without you touching the controller. Unlike the GameSir G7 SE Hall effect sticks that use a magnetic system, so there's no wear from physical contact and you will not get any stick drift, which can save you a lot of money but also a lot of frustration. So what other features does the GameSir G7 have? What does it cost? And should you consider buying one? Let's start with the basics and subscribe so you can always get back to this video in case you want to use the link and code from the description. The overall design of the GameSir G7 SE is similar to the official Xbox controller, which stands for high ergonomics and a familiar feel. One of the cool things of the GameSir G7 SE is that you can remove the magnetic faceplate and switch it up with a different one, which I believe every modern controller should have these days, because you don't have to purchase a separate one if you're bored with the color. The buttons are mostly placed at the same spot, with the exception of the middle buttons. The A, B, X and Y buttons are membrane buttons, which makes them fairly quiet, responsive and durable, which can be nice if you're into that. The D-pad is more similar to the Xbox One controller instead of the Xbox Series X controller. It's more traditional and quiet, which I'm more of a fan of, and work quite well on fighting games and 2D brawlers. One of the key selling features are the Hall effect joysticks, which are even more important than the faceplate, because as mentioned, due to the magnetic system there is no wear, so you won't experience any stick drift. This alone will save you a lot of money and frustration because your controller won't have a life of its own. Same goes for the triggers at the top, which are Hall effect analog triggers, which absolutely feel fantastic and responsive and will also not wear due to the lack of physical contact. On the back of the GameSir G7 SE, it has those back buttons which are well placed. They are large enough to use, feel nice to the touch, and in case you might accidentally touch them, there are these locks to prevent you from doing that, which is fantastic. And on the bottom you have the 3.5mm jack plug, so you can insert a wired headphone, and you even have a physical mute button, which I personally like. Speaking of cables, at the top you have a USB-C port, because in order to use the GameSir G7 SE, you would need to use the included USB-C cable. It would be nice if you could use it wirelessly, but that's not the case. Luckily this cable is quite long, as it is 3 meters in size, so it wouldn't be a big issue. The plus side is that you can always use it instantly, and you don't need any batteries like on the official Xbox controller. But besides all these hardware features, the GameSir G7 SE also has some more tricks up its sleeve. For example, it has customizable software called GameSir Nexus, in which you can change the mappings, sticks, triggers, vibrations and setup profiles for different users, playstyles and gaming genres, which is absolutely fantastic. Once you set up your profiles, you can quickly swap between those profiles with this button right here. For example, when you press the M button and the Y button, you're using your default profile. M and B is profile 1, M and A is profile 2, M and X is profile 3, which is another fantastic feature. Another good thing to point out is that you get 1 month of Xbox Game Pass Ultimate for new members, so that's pretty cool as well. So in summary, what are the pros and cons, and what does the GameSir G7 SE cost? The pros here in my opinion are definitely the Hall effect joysticks, which will save you a lot of money and frustration, and same goes for those Hall effect triggers. It also has that swappable faceplate to switch up your style and color. It has those silent and durable membrane buttons. It has those back buttons with a lock to prevent you from accidentally pressing them. It has fully customizable software. It also has a 3.5mm jack plug with a mute button. It also has 4 rumble motors, 1 month of Xbox Game Pass Ultimate, and not to forget those great and familiar ergonomics like on the official Xbox controller. So in my eyes, there's only one thing that would be a nice improvement on the next version, and that would be if we could have a fully wireless version of the GameSir G7 SE. It shouldn't really be a big deal because the pro here is that you can instantly use it without having to rely on batteries. But still, a wireless controller would be perfect. So the GameSir G7 retail price is $44.99, or the prices you see up here if you live in a different country. Speaking of, the GameSir G7 SE has free worldwide shipping, and not to forget, I have a link for you and a discount code of the GameSir G7 SE in the description and comments. In my opinion, you get a lot of value for this price, especially if you compare it with the original Xbox controller, which costs around $60 or even higher. So I would say it's definitely worth purchasing the GameSir G7 SE if you want a high quality controller with a lot of features that will never drift and is compatible on the Xbox Series X, S, Xbox One, Windows 10 and 11. And if you need more Xbox content, just click right here or subscribe to check it out later. See you there.